Blackpink in Singapore 2025. Wild, sweet, warm, and electric reunion with standout solo stages. After a couple of years of shining and growing on their own through solo music and achievements, Blackpink was back in Singapore as a group, with Friday night, November 28th, the first of 3 consecutive shows at the National Stadium. It was a comeback that carried real meaning for fans. Many Blinks had wondered if the Born Pink tour back in 2023 would be the last time the iconic K-pop group would perform together. There was the issue with their contracts with YG Entertainment, and the members were all doing their own thing, from music to television. But as the lights dimmed and a quartet of striking figures slowly rose up from the stage amid drifting pink fog and loud cheers from the fans, it seemed everything had finally fallen into place. Blackpink is back, for the duration of their Deadline World Tour at the very least. Going solo. The concert opened with Kill This Love, one of their record-breaking hits and a defining track that helped cement their global success. The momentum continued with high-energy, danceable tracks such as Pink Venom, How You Like That, Playing With Fire, and Shut Down. So just how contagious was Blackpink's energy? One thing I don't like about this is that we need to sit down, quipped Alyssa Lee, an audience member from Malaysia. Given the members' current individual successes, the show heavily leaned into solo performances, with 2 of the 5 acts putting the spotlight on each of them. Performing Hugs and Kisses and Earthquake, both released this year, Jisoo's vocals remained stable and clear as she was lifted and lowered by dancers. The live feed on the Jumbotron, instead of a standard stage screen showing her close-up, was paired with real-time visual effects, turning the performance into a live music video of sorts that was quite an immersive visual experience. The 30-year-old maintained a sweet, confident presence from start to finish, effortlessly putting a smile on your face before you even realized it. Lisa's solo set featured 3 tracks off her Alter Ego album, released earlier this year: Thunder, Lifestyle, and fan-favorite Rockstar. Neon green headwear and knit gloves from ATSSU's Tracker collection, paired with a black 2-piece featuring nude mesh cutouts, created sharp, graphic lines across her frame. The look was futuristic, slightly sci-fi, and full pop diva, lighting up the eyes of everyone in the crowd. No doubt about it, Lisa's dance performance was powerful as usual, clean and sharp. Lisa's facial expression are so nice, and she's so sexy, said Kimberly, a 15-year-old fan who has been following Blackpink since she was 8. Blackpink come back again please, with a lot more songs, she added. Singapore Shook and Chicken Rice. One of the night's cutest moments came when Lisa accidentally said Singapore Shook instead of Singapore Shiok. She quickly sensed something was off when fans looked a little confused instead of cheering, and laughed it off, promising to get the pronunciation right for the next 2 shows in Singapore. A small slip-up, perhaps, but one that added a touch of local flavor to the night's stay, brought a noticeable shift in tone after the string of high beats performances. Contrary to the group's usual fierce image, the song's gentle melody and the members' stripped-down, unshowy vocals transported the crowd back to 2016, the year the quartet first debuted. Even the rainy, windy weather chipped in, as light breeze lifted their hair, adding to the nostalgic mood. With no elaborate choreography and no heavy percussive beats, it was simply a quiet moment that reminded fans just how far they've come. The concert continued with Jennie's solo turn. The crowd erupted as she slowly rose from beneath the stage in a bright red jacket and classy sunglasses. Here, like Jennie Live, the solo track that racked up over 206 million views on YouTube in just 8 months, was a moment some fans had been waiting for. I would cry just by listening to it, said Chrisella, another Blink from Malaysia. At points, the backing track for Jennie's songs was a little too loud, occasionally overpowering her live vocals, but it was easy to overlook, thanks to her exceptional stage presence and explosive performance energy. She also performed Extra L and Starlight. A wave of excitement sparked across the crowd, especially when Jennie took off her jacket mid-performance, a slick move that added just the right amount of drama to an already charged moment. And then there was Rose's chicken rice moment, you've probably already seen on your social media feeds. The singer-songwriter chose the iconic dish, eaten with chopsticks, as a prelude to her solo set. Rose took a simple approach, dressed simply in a black jacket and short skirt, and just a mic. She delivered heartfelt renditions of 2 Years and Toxic till the end, letting her vocals take center stage. Of course, everyone was also waiting for her signature track. And as the familiar melody of Apt began to play, the crowd went wild and sang along. And one lucky blink even got to go up on stage, and you had the feeling Rose would have brought every fan up there if she could. The blast of confetti as the iconic chorus echoed throughout the stadium was easily one of the night's defining moments. Yes, Rose definitely nailed the Korean drinking game turn song, even without Bruno Mars. For distinct Singapore fans were, as always, a little shy, or at least that's according to Jennie, who playfully teased about seeing a lot of serious faces. But once Jump kicked in, there was no holding the audience back. Boombaya and Dudadoo took things to a whole new level, as the entire stadium came alive. From young children to uncles, almost everyone stood up, waving their light sticks in sync with the beat. I've got to say, I'm not a blink. But as I scrolled through Blackpink's setlists from their overseas shows, I realized their melodies were already tucked somewhere in my memory, proof that their influence ran deeper than I thought. If there's one takeaway from the night, it's this: Jennie's wild, Jisoo's sweet, Rose's warm, and Lisa's electric. For distinct energies, snapping perfectly into place. They didn't compete, they lifted one another. A quiet reminder that women don't need to fit a single mold to stand out. Sometimes it's the very differences that make us shine.